The nap taker. No, I did not take a nap. The nap took me. Off the bed and out the window, far beyond the sea. To a land where sleepy heads read only comic books and lock their naps in iron safes so they can't take and they can't get took. And soon as I came to the land, I also came to grief. The people pointed to me shouting, "Where's the nap, you thief?" They took me to the courthouse. The judge put on his cap. He said, "My child, you are on trial for taking someone's nap." Yes, all you selfish children, you think just of yourselves and don't care if the nap you take belongs to someone else. It happens that the nap you took, without a thought or care, belongs to Bonnie Bolingbrook, who's sitting crying there. She hasn't slept in quite some time. Just see her eyelids flap. She's tired, drowsy, cranky too, 'cause guess who took her nap? The jury cried, "You're guilty, yes, you're guilty as can be, but just return the nap took, and we might set you free." "I did not take that nap," I cried. "I give my solemn vow, and if I took it by mistake, I do not have it now." "Oh, fiddle fudge," cried out the judge, "your record looks quite sour. Last night I see you stole a kiss. Last week you took a shower. You beat your eggs. You've whipped your cream. At work you punched the clock. You've even killed an hour or two. We've heard you darn your socks. We know you shot a basketball. You've stolen second base. And we can see you're guilty from the sleep that's on your face. Go lie down on your blanket now and cry your guilty tears. I sentence you to one long nap for 90 million years. And when the other children see this nap that never ends, no child will ever dare to take somebody's nap again.
So how many of you all are nappers? You can raise your hand like unabashedly napper if you want to. All right, so for those of you who are nappers, would you consider yourself to be more of a planned napper, or like, where it's sort of expected and what you know you need to do, or more of an emergency napper, where it's like, "Oh, I'm so exhausted, I can't take it, I have to sleep right now"? What would you say? Both? Okay. A planned and an emergency napper. Sometimes the nap takes you. Other folks. Where is your favorite place to nap?
Upstairs in the attic. Really thick blanket.
Ooh, upstairs in the attic? Ooh, upstairs in the attic with a really thick blanket that you can put over your head as well. Nice. Other folks, where's your favorite place to nap?
Just in my bed, under a weighted blanket.
In your bed under a weighted blanket.
Yeah, on a recliner in the living room.
Recliner in the living room. Is the TV on?
It doesn't have a remote. I just sit there.
Okay, and it goes. Some people like to nap when they watch the news. Other folks, favorite place to nap? Nap and watch the news at the same time. Here's my question. Why is it that I always fall asleep waiting for the weather? I wait through the sports, get through the sports, just as the weather starts, I fall asleep. It's what I was waiting for. Those of you who don't nap, do you ever find yourself saying why you don't nap? Do you feel like you ever have to justify your lack of napping? Those of you who don't? Interesting. And? Love sleep. Oh, you get enough sleep. Oh. Condensing your dreamless sleep into a certain period of time. Gotcha. Not enough dreamless. Ah. So there's a negative association or a challenge. It takes away from things for you to nap.
At this stage of life.
At this point in your life.
At this semester of life,
Yes. Was there a hand over here? Okay. Great. Well, I look forward. We're going to talk more about napping in a second. Thank you all. Slowly. Now, one of the things that I love to do when I take road trips, not napping in the car, just to be clear. So, I love to listen to podcasts as I'm driving. And last summer, I stumbled across an old one called the Healing Justice podcast, which was renamed Irresistible. And one of the particular episodes piqued my interest, and it led me to an article in the Atlantic Monthly magazine that starts like this. Tricia Hersey was bone tired. It was 2013, and she had just begun a Master's of Divinity program at Emory. The pace was rigorous. In lecture halls, Hersey felt unseen and unheard amongst her mostly white peers. The TV news, a seemingly inescapable loop of police brutality against Black people, only intensified her stress. 2 of her close relatives passed away unexpectedly. And one day, a thief snatched her backpack containing her class notes, her research, and her very first sermon, which she was scheduled to preach in 2 days. Overwhelmed, Hersey wanted to quit school completely, but instead, she started napping. She napped in the campus quad, in the library, in the upholstered balcony pews of the Cannon Chapel. It was transformative, she says. It enabled her to keep going. I was healing. Naps really saved my life in that way, she says. Hersey talks about naps the way some people might describe a spiritual experience, because for her, that's what they are. So in 2016, she founded the Nap Ministry, setting up communal, supervised spaces for people to nap in peace. In 2022, she published Rest is Resistance, a manifesto, and she's even developed this handy-dandy little nap deck, which my spouse, who's a former UUA staffer, brought home with him one day. It has 50 different affirmations and meditation exercises to, quote, free your mind from the grind culture. As I was driving, I said to myself, what? Now wait a minute. The Nap Ministry? Honestly, my spirit sang at the prospect of looking at naps at spiritual practices. You see, I love a good nap. Like Tricia, as a student, I would grab a nap anywhere I could, the bench in a student lounge, a conference room that wasn't booked until the janitor came and kicked me out. As someone who never lived on campus, I couldn't go home to nap between classes like my peers, so I had to get creative to find little places in public where I could blend in while not worrying about my belongings being taken became quite the challenge. And as you can imagine, some days the quest to find the right place to nap became a daunting task. Now, for a long time, I thought my desire to nap meant that there was something wrong with me. Naps were only for kids. I should have outgrown them years ago. Or maybe if I changed my diet or I exercised more, I wouldn't get so sleepy in the afternoon. And sometimes the ultimate judgment would come up. I napped because I was lazy. But as the years have gone on and my desire to nap has not waned, I realized that the reason that I nap is this. I nap because I like to, because I need to. Lying on my side on the couch under a soft and snuggly blanket, my dog, Maddie J. Beagle, curled up behind my legs, all is right with the world. And even though I don't get to take a nap every day, naps are an important part of how I recharge or recoup and reinvigorate. On Sundays, we regularly see the thread amongst ministers and religious educators about the post-Sunday nap. Apparently, more people should be napping. Lack of sleep is a real problem in our country. 1 in 3 Americans report getting insufficient sleep. That's fewer than 7 hours a night. And 1/4 suffer acute insomnia, meaning that they have difficulty sleeping at least 3 times a week or more. The CDC has called this pervasive lack of sleep a public health epidemic. We have an odd relationship with sleep in this country, don't we? We know that we need it, yet we deny it. We see it as a luxury. We push through, we say things like, I don't have time to take a nap, or I'll sleep when I'm dead. Any of you have guesses about what our top solution to not enough rest is? Coffee, exactly. Coffee is the world's second most traded commodity, coming in just behind petroleum. If you think about that, right? Petroleum and then coffee, 1 and 2 in the world. So we invest millions in ways to avoid our way or our need for sleep. Red Bull, 5-hour energy, caffeine pills, all to help us avoid that dreaded afternoon slump. Our actions leave us so wound up that we end up needing other products to help us get to sleep at night. And this is a vicious, never-ending cycle. Tricia Hersey's Nap Ministry Manifesto says, the doors of the nap temple are open. Won't you come in? This is an invitation for weary souls to rest, she says. This is resistance. This is a protest. This is a counter-narrative to the lie that we aren't doing enough. We are enough. The doors of the nap temple are open. Won't you come in? This is counter-narrative to the lie that our worth is tied to the grind of capitalism. You are enough simply by being alive. Thank you for living. Thank you for resisting. Thank you for creating. Thank you for loving. The doors of the nap temple are open. Won't you come in? According to the National Sleep Foundation, while naps do not necessarily make up for inadequate or poor quality nighttime sleep, a short nap of 20 to 30 minutes can do wonders. Daytime naps can increase alertness, boost creativity, reduce stress, improve perception, stamina, motor skills, and brighten your mood and boost memory. There are so many benefits to napping. When our sleep patterns are regulated and we are not sleep deprived, we are more likely to be emotionally balanced and stable. We feel calmer and more rational. Our perception is likely to be heightened, and our general health and well-being is enhanced. Now, for most people, the prime napping falls between 1 and 3 p.m., writes Sarah Middick, a leading voice in nap research and the author of the book, Take a Nap, Change Your Life. Scheduling is key, so plan a nap for the time when your body is naturally sleepier will increase the likelihood that you will fall asleep. Scheduling at this time also means that a nap isn't occurring too late in the day, so it shouldn't have any impact on nighttime sleep. Now, it can take about 30 days of consistent napping to reset the body clock. So if you're new to napping, you may feel a little jet-lagged at first, which is perfectly normal, until the body and the mind adjust to the alteration. Our very own Henry David Thoreau, with his Unitarian connection, similarly suggests that rest is the occupation of the wise. Thoreau writes, "Nature never makes haste. Her systems revolve at her own pace. The buds swell imperceptibly without hurry or confusion, as though the short spring days were an eternity. Why then should man hasten as if anything less than eternity were allotted for the least deed? A wise man is restful, never restless or impatient. He each moment abides there where he is, as some walkers actually rest the whole body in each step, while others never relax a muscle of the leg till the accumulated fatigue obliges them to stop short." Now, I would be negligent if I were not to mention that napping is not for everyone, we have heard. Some people just don't need a nap. For others, issues like depression or insomnia or sleep apnea are reasons for their napping. In these cases, consulting a doctor is critical. Denying your physical and emotional health can have devastating consequences. Checking in with a medical professional is important if you find yourself tired all the time or if you've had any significant changes in your health. For Tricia Hershey, aka the Nap Bishop, napping wasn't just personal, it was political. After exploring the scientific research on how the brain uses sleep to process trauma, she became transfixed by the idea of rest as a form of reparations and sleep deprivation as an issue of racial and social justice. There is well-documented racial sleep gap, which shows that Black Americans are 5 times more likely to be sleep deprived than their white counterparts. There's also a class and a gender gap when it comes to napping. As Americans, we have idealized the idea of the siesta, the Spanish word for nap. We envision that all the shops shut down, that the streets become deserted, and everyone's just taking a nap. When in reality, only about 40% of Spaniards have the coveted siesta. Afternoon napping tends to be reserved for wealthy men. Women, especially poor women, keep right on working. For them, there is no time to rest. To do this work, Hersey stresses that rest as resistance can't be judged a one-off experience. This really is a practice, she says. It has to be done consistently. We're not just talking about wellness for the sake of self-care. We are helping people to deprogram from brainwashing and from the toxic grind culture. We're tearing down the deadly systems and create new ways of thriving. This is more than about naps, she says. Napping can be how we ensure we have the energy for the long haul. Now, a part of her nap ministry is to host nap experiences, public, collective encounters where people nap together for 30 to 40 minutes. She argues that it's nothing short of a revolutionary act. When you see 40 people napping together at the same time, it's direct action, she says. It's the exact same as going to a protest march. This simple act is countercultural. It's part of how we can move forward living as human beings rather than human doings. It's part of how we can change the culture. Thoreau argues the same point as Hersey. Don't wait for exhaustion to stop you. Be wise and take your rest regularly with each step. Be more like the natural world, not make haste. Instead, take your rest like breathing, in and out, like the cycles of night and day, of rest and activity. The resting part is deeply important, not a negotiable bug that we can work around. Ignore your exhaustion at your own peril. When we rest, we begin to reclaim our power. We set a firm boundary, a vibrant no to the violence of exhaustion. Rest is a form of empowerment. We protect our bodies from harm and we begin to heal. Hersey says, more to the point, to not rest is really being violent towards our bodies. To align yourself with a system that says your body doesn't belong to you, keep working. You are simply a tool for production. So what would it look like, my friends, if we were to engage in this revolutionary form of protest? If we started viewing napping as a spiritual practice? How might it change us if we too saw naps as holding the power not only for rest, but also for resistance? Now, fair warning, no one else is going to honor your need to rest. There will be no praise for you when you rest. There will be no parties that say, "Yay, you took a nap." The riches of the world will probably not be poured out upon you. And yet, the violence that we do to our bodies, the way that we push ourselves to produce for a toxic system that does not care, that will get praise. That will be celebrated. But to learn the true strength of resting is to tap into your full humanity and power. I don't know about the rest of you all, but I am saying unabashedly, loud and proud, I need a nap. Blessed be and amen.